Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a very exciting book outlet haul. I have not one, but two very large packages. We're gonna unbox these today. I did buy them from the Book Outlet 15% off. I think it was like the Booktober sale. And I actually placed one and then I was like, I want more, so I placed another. I spent about $150 and there's about, I think, like 25 books here. So I don't remember everything I got. I just kind of got anything that I was interested in because I think this is a great sale. I do work at a bookstore and I get an employee discount, but this is better. So we're gonna go straight into it. Okay, here's the first one. Trying my best not to show my address because that would not be good. Open it up so you can see. As usual, we have the paper in the top and a coupon, which is nice. That can have for next time. Let's take all this paper out. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, I forgot I got all of this. Alright, I guess we're just gonna dive in. I'll start with the ones that you can see already. The first one I got was Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Rodenhorse. As far as I know, this is a indigenous sci-fi story, but I think this is gonna be a series. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, so I'm looking forward to this. The next one I have is Wenjack by Joseph Boyden. I feel like this might have been a mistake. I feel like I've heard things about Joseph Boyden that aren't great.
After filming this video, I looked up Joseph Boyden. Apparently, Joseph Boyden lied about his Indigenous heritage, and apparently he has little to no Indigenous heritage at all and continues to identify himself as an Indigenous author, which is what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't say anything, but it appears I was right. And so I don't think Wenjack is going to be on my TBR for very long. I don't even know if I'll get to reading it. I don't know if I want to read it.
Next one I have is Atticowitch by Nnedi Okorafor, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about this one. It's about a girl who lives in Nigeria but was born in New York. She's West African, but she's albino. There is like a magic school that she goes to, and she finds out that she has these amazing powers. So looking forward to that one for sure. I actually have her Binti trilogy and I haven't read them yet, but they're super short. It's 3 books, but I do need to get around to reading these as well. Next I haven't heard a lot of things about this. It's called Warrior of the Wild, and this just sounds like a book that I would love, honestly. It's about a girl who's like thrust into the wilderness and has to survive. But it's also a fantasy. Trained her whole life to lead her village, has a coming of age trial, but she fails, so then she's banished to the wilderness, and that's what this is about. This is by Trisha Levenseller, who I believe, on the back, she also wrote Daughter of the Pirate King, which I know is a pretty popular YA book. I actually don't know if this is YA or adult. I feel like it's probably YA. Haven't heard a lot about it, but I feel like the description really calls to me, so look forward to it. The next book I got, I've already read. This is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. I really enjoyed it. I actually have an ARC of the next book that might be expiring soon. I gotta check on that, but I just wanted to have it in my collection because I originally read this book as an ARC and I didn't have a physical copy and I really liked it. Next I've Got This Round by Mamrie Hart. I've read Mamrie Hart's first book and I really enjoyed it, and I love her videos still. I listen to her podcast with Grace Helbig a lot. I also picked up The Test by Sylviane Nouvelle, and I believe this is like a little sci-fi novella about some kind of, I think, citizenship test maybe, yeah, and something happens and it's really short, so I feel like there's not much I can say about it anyways, but I've heard really great things about this, so I'm looking forward to that, as I am with all of these other books. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I got Frankenstein by Mary Shelley in the Word Cloud Classic Edition. I have this edition in Great Expectations, Pride and Prejudice, and Peter Pan. I love Frankenstein. I read this like 3 or 4 times in my undergrad, and I've just come to have an appreciation for Frankenstein. So this is my second copy, and definitely my favorite. I love this. It has a bunch of quotes from the book on the front. I'm not sure if it does say Frankenstein or A Modern Prometheus, which makes me think that it is the 1818 version and it's not abridged. So I feel like I'm gonna have to read this edition to find out whether it's been abridged from the original or not. But I'm so excited to have that in my collection, and I'm so excited that I found it on Book Outlet. The last book in this box is The Severed Moon, A Year-Long Journal of Magic by Leigh Bardugo, and it has a Target sticker on it that will, oh, it's coming off pretty easily. And I just think this is beautiful, and I haven't actually looked inside of it. It has like prompts in it, but I just think it's a really nice like notebook. So we'll see if I use it for the prompts or otherwise. It's got like quotations and stuff from the Grishaverse. So I'm excited to have this in my collection. You can kind of see my Leigh Bardugos up there. I've been collecting quite a few of them. So, oh, it's so pretty. I love that. So that's the first box. And then that was the one that I spent around $50 on. This next one I spent about $100 on, and it's pretty big. This box is so big it doesn't have the Book Outlet logo on it, which is funny. I've never gotten a package this big from Book Outlet. This one, I feel like it was a fever dream, and I just like ordered a bunch of books and blacked out and then woke up and $100 was gone from my bank account. It's so heavy. I consider myself pretty strong. This is heavy. There's all the papers. The top. So this one, I know a lot less about these books than I do about the ones that I just told you about. So we'll see how this goes. So the first one I have here is Sour Heart by Jenny Zhang, and these are short stories. I feel like this was recommended to me by someone. I heard about it somehow because when I saw it, I recognized it immediately. And I feel like at one point it was on my Goodreads want to read list, and then I took it off. But I saw it and I figured I would grab it. Yeah, it says Jenny Zhang's frank and submersive debut that snatches the wig right off the immigrant narrative in America. In this linked collection, she conjures the disturbing and often hilarious adolescent experience through the eyes of Chinese American girls growing up in New York City. I got The Lost Girls of Camp Forevermore by Kim Fu. Kim Fu, I have, for today, I Am a Boy by her. I read it for one of my classes in my undergrad. I actually haven't finished it. No, I want to. It's a great book, but it's super heavy. So I do plan on finishing that and also reading this book because I do really like what I've read so far. This is about young girls who are at a sleepaway camp in the Pacific Northwest, but they find themselves stranded with no adults, them surviving this tragedy and how it kind of alters their life. So I have Motorcycles in Sweetgrass by Drew Hayden Taylor, and I believe Drew Hayden Taylor is Indigenous. He was born and raised on Curve Lake First Nation, so he's Anishinaabe in central Ontario. And this is about a little Anishinaabe community, and then a stranger pulls up on a motorcycle and kind of turns the reservation upside down. So I have Our Story, Aboriginal Voices of Canada's Past. And this is, I believe, like nonfiction, creative nonfiction pieces by different Indigenous authors. Wilson Highway, Thomas King, Brian Miracle, Lee Miracle, Drew Hayden Taylor, authors that I like already, so I figured I would pick that up. Next, I have They're There by Tommy Orange. Again, I've heard nothing but great things about this book ever since it came out. It follows 12 characters from Native communities as they travel to the big Oakland powwow. Actually, as I'm filming this video, I'm working on an Indigenous Lit recommendations video because November is Indigathon, so I don't think I'm gonna get to all of these Indigenous books, including the ones I already have on my TBR. I wouldn't have bought them if I didn't want to read them. Will I read them? We'll see. Next, I think after this one, all of them are YA, so I'll do this one next. This is 5.
I don't know why or how I called this book 5. I think I saw the V on the cover. I was like, yeah, that's the number 5. This book is called V.I., which makes much more sense.
By Kim Thoy. Red Man by Kim Thoy, which is a lot about an immigrant and her like relationship with food and how she becomes like this really world-renowned chef. I'm not sure what this one is about. This follows the youngest of 4 children who was destined to be protected the family's little treasure. Daughter of an enterprising mother and a wealthy spoiled father who never to grow up, The Vietnam War destroys the life they've known. These are really small. All of Kim Thoy's books are super small, so that'll take me no time to read, I'm sure. Next, this was actually recommended to me by a coworker. It's by Kenneth Opel. I've never read anything by Kenneth Opel, and he's really popular with like the 9 to 12 range. This is one of his teen books, and it's a prequel to Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, I gotta read it. So I picked that up, and I think it's either a duology or a trilogy, but this is just the first book. I picked up Black Heart by Holly Black. This is actually in a hardcover, and I was hoping to get it in a paperback so it would match my other ones here. You can't see them, but I've never read this trilogy, but I am meeting Holly Black soon. And I would like to get as many books signed as they will allow me to. I've never read, the first book is called White Cat, which I've never read, and I wasn't super interested in reading it, but then a coworker who's read it explained it to me, and she sold me on it, so I do want to get around to this trilogy at some point. I feel like this will come as no surprise to anyone. I have not read Scythe by Neil Shusterman. These books are so much bigger than I thought they would be, but people keep recommending it. It's selling really well, and I figure it's time to read Scythe. I've never even read a Neil Shusterman before. I might have read maybe a short story by him, but not that I can recall. Like, I remember when Unwind was really popular on BookTube in probably like 2013, and I am interested in the premise, so I picked it up. I figure I gotta read it at some point. And now that the trilogy is ending, I figured it's a good time to do it. Next, I got Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. I've tried to read The Wrath in the Dawn quite a few times, and I've never been able to get past the first couple of chapters. But I read The Beautiful, and I loved it because, like, my little Twilight vampire heart loves vampire books. But then I was listening to her on the podcast First Draft, and she sold this to me, so I'm interested in reading this. See, I'm trying to remember how Renee Ahdieh sold it, but I really can't remember. It's about a girl who's sent to the Imperial Palace to meet her betrothed, but the journey is cut short when she's viciously attacked by the Black Clan, a dangerous group of bandits who have been hired to kill her before she reaches the palace. She's the lone survivor, so she escapes to the woods where she seeks her revenge. Oh, it's kind of like Mulan-ish. She dresses as a peasant boy to infiltrate the Black Clan. Oh yeah, totally into that. Want to read this. Ready to read this. I have 4 left. The next I have is Blanca and Roja by Anna Marie Mecklemore. I own When the Moon Is Ours by her, but I haven't read it. But this is about 2 sisters, and like, automatically I want to read it when you tell me it's about 2 sisters. One of them are supposed to be fated to be taken away by swans, I think. And they're so, like, they're sisters, so they're very, like, fiercely loyal to each other. So it's about kind of their relationship and such. There's so many stacks of books here, like, goddamn. The next book I got is The Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve Tucholk. Probably. I don't know a lot about this book, but what I do know is that it was described to me as a feminist retelling of Beowulf. And as someone who studied Beowulf far too many times, I am definitely looking forward to this. The next 2 books I got are both by Margaret Rogerson, and she only has 2 books, so I'm sure you know what these are. This I've already read. I got it from my library because I heard a lot of buzz about it, but the 2 people who convinced me to read it were Whitney from Witty Novels and my friend Aislinn, who has a new booktube channel. I will link her channel down below. It's Entangled Novels, but they're the ones who kind of convinced me, like, yeah, I gotta read it, and I freaking loved it. I think I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars or 4 out of 5 stars, but it just gave me so many Feyre Rysand feels. If you think anything has changed with my reading, that's one thing that has not changed with my reading. I've read A Court of Mist and Fury every year since the first year that I read it. But that gives me a lot of Feyre Rysand vibes, and so I loved it. And we're gonna have to see about that Walmart sticker there. But then I figure I loved that book. And so I also got An Enchantment of Ravens. This one, I actually had it on my radar before it came out, I think. And honestly, like, at this point, I love Six of Crows. Anytime there's like a bird in a title, I'm like, yeah, Six of Crows. So I don't know why. This has gotten a lot of mixed reviews, but I heard Read with Cindy mention that she didn't love Sorcery of Thorns, but she did like An Enchantment of Ravens. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I figure I gotta read it because I really like Sorcery of Thorns. Oh, I didn't tell you what this one is about. It's about a girl who grows up in a library. She looks forward to being like a defender of the library one day, but then it gets attacked and she gets accused of doing the attack because she was the only one awake when the attack happened. So she gets shipped off to like the city, and there's this guy named Nathaniel, and she and him have this like, I don't want to say enemies to lovers, but like he's very brooding and she's very like fierce. So it's about her like clearing her name basically, but a lot more happens than that, but it's very good. Enchantment of Ravens is about a painter named Isabel, and she paints for the fair folk. She's not a fair folk, but they crave human craft with terrible thirst, and they trade valuable enchantments for Isabel's paintings. When she receives her first loyal patron, Brooke, the Autumn Prince, oh god, I think I'm gonna like this. Isabel makes a deadly mistake. She paints mortal sorrow in his eyes, a weakness that could cost him his throne and his life. Oh, I think I'm gonna really like this. I look forward to this, and it's so short. Easy peasy. So the box is empty. That's my haul for you. I figure I gotta stack these and like do a thumbnail and stuff so that people will click on the video. The thing is, I have accumulated many books since we last spoke. My last book haul was like, what, 2016 or something like that? So like, girl accumulates a lot of books. Some of those being books that I read in university, some of them not, but I got a lot of books now. I've been sitting like so straight, my back is starting to hurt. Look, university does things to your body. I don't know if you're thinking about going to university or if you've been to university, but like, it's all a scam. So, I turned them this way for my thumbnail, but that's my book haul. This is a PSA to Book Outlet. If you need a vlogger friend, hit me up. I shop on your website a lot. I shopped on it a lot during my undergrad when I needed cheap books because I was an English major. So like, you just let me know, Book Outlet, and I am ready, willing, and able whenever you need a new vlogger friend. But that is my Book Outlet haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Eventually, I will read all of these. Is that a lie? It's too soon to tell. You know, have you read any of these? Are you interested in any of these? Let's chat in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!